Hey, it's Mark here at Cedar Falls Farm. I'm back in my processing area this afternoon, getting ready to make some sausage. I was planning to make pork breakfast sausage links, and I was going to make sweet Italian sausage. And went ahead and wrote everything up, got prepped. I went to get my meat out of the fridge, and the fridge has failed. So this is the second occurrence I've had. We recently were on a camping trip, and I came back and my big freezer over here, the middle door was partially open. And I don't know how that happened, if it was from when I was getting ice out I had stored in there. I like to chill it down to sub-freezing so it will last longer than just taking it out of the ice maker. But it was over 60 degrees in there, so I tossed out probably $100 worth of ribeyes I'd cut. I tossed out all of the ground brisket I had made, a lot of cut up chicken, gosh, probably about 45, 50 pounds of butts, you know, pork shoulder meat that I had to make sausage with. Yeah, I probably tossed $400 or $500 worth of meat total. So that was a big loss. And I bought all this to be able to make another round of sausage, especially to cook at the fire department for our first responders breakfast, and to have for ourselves, especially on our camping trips. I can kind of control the heat in it, which I can't take too much heat anymore. But here we are. At least these butts that were vacuum packed were still good. It had not gotten too hot yet that they went bad, but what had already been cut into strips is in the garbage. So another big loss. Those things happen. I hate it happen. That's the second time that the black garage fridge has gone out, and I checked the freezer's shot on it too. The meat had defrosted, but it hasn't gone bad yet. So it's now in the GDM 72 freezer. Hopefully it won't fail again. But the old black GE fridge that failed once before after we moved in this house almost 10 years ago, it is going to the recycling center. I'm not going through that again. I do have one more fridge in the garage. It was going to be a kegerator, but now it's going to be the garage fridge. So that's where we're at. I will show you what I've got on the board. The Italian sausage won't be made this time. I already have some in the freezer, so I will use that. But this is what we're going to do. We will stop here. We'll only make the sausage links. We're going to use blend number 10 of AC legs, and instead of 13 pounds, I think we have a little less than 16, or no, we have 16.55 pounds. I know that's not focusing well, so that's where we're at. I'm going to pull this out, cut it up into small pieces that will go through the throat of the grinder, and then it will go into the freezer for an hour or two. I want to get it chilled back down. Then we'll do a first grind, no more than I have, and since I'm only making one type sausage, I should be able to do a second grind without putting the grinder and parts back in the freezer again. I'll just change out the die in the end of it, go to the small die. So I'm going to pause right here, and we'll pick back up shortly. Okay, here we go. We'll get started. This is not going to be the educational type video as my long form how to make breakfast sausage. This is just quickly running through it. I will put a link to that original, so if anyone has not seen and is curious about the details, that video has all of the details on it. This is just kind of showing the process. Oftentimes I will use some pork belly because of the fat content. This time these had a good bit of fat, as you can see here, so I thought I would just go with that. I really hate that my refrigerator failed. That's way too much loss. C'est la vie. That's life. We'll quickly get this cut up. I have some errands to run. I need to run by the fire department, check on things before the breakfast tomorrow morning, and I'll get back home and we'll go to grinding. After we grind, we will put it in casings. I need to let the casings soak for probably about 30-40 minutes, maybe an hour. Want them to be very pliable and not tear when we're stuffing. I gotta tell you though, I'm totally bummed about losing more meat. Definitely doesn't make it any more economical when that happens. But I do know where the sausage is made. I know what goes into it. I know the seasonings that's in it. I know the quality of meat. Like this is at most from 2 different pigs. Reduces your chance of getting some bad stuff. And you can see I quickly cut out anything that I don't think looks good. I don't like to bite into commercial sausage, even at a restaurant. Find a piece of bone or gristle, or look down, there's a, I know it doesn't really matter, but a blood vessel, blood vein sticking out of it. I've seen all that. Not like this. This is trimmed the way I like it. These are the 2 pieces I culled. That will make the Australian Shepherd Link very happy. He likes the pork trimmings. I will quickly tell you that I always keep 2 or 3 sharp knives laying around, because as you cut the meat, going through the meat and coming in contact with the cutting board, it dulls the knife a little bit. And I'm about ready to change over to a different knife. Still cutting pretty good at this point. Okay, I'm going to measure out my AC legs number 10, and I'll blend that in now with it at this point, and that way when I grind, the first grind it gets blended in a little bit, and then it gets blended even more in the second grind, where we go to our final particle size, if you will. So I'm going to stop for a minute, I'll pause, and we will pick back up once I measure out the appropriate amount. Normally I'd do 25 pounds. If I do 25 pounds, it's an 8-ounce package. I'm doing 16.55, probably about 16.5 with a little bit of coal, so I just need to calculate that out right quick. We'll pick back up here shortly. Okay, I'm back. I went and looked it back up. I was thinking it was a tablespoon per pound, but if you go to AC Legs, you can look under the frequently asked questions on their website, and it has what the blends are at different levels. So 16 pounds is 1 cup. And we're going to cut this bag open here. Get my gloves back on. And we're going to put a cup of this in here. There is a little red pepper in this. It's not as bad as some, I say as bad. I used to love red pepper. I used to love all peppers. And as I've gotten older, something about my system does not tolerate practically any peppers anymore of this type of pepper. Black pepper is totally different, but yeah, it's I get sick from it. I still do a little, but you know, gotta live on the edge occasionally. So it'd probably be about 1 cup and a teaspoon, and that's about what we've got here, other than what I just poured on the table. So we'll sprinkle just a wee bit. I also like to add a little extra sage. We're going to, I'm not measuring it this time, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in there. There we go. You don't have to do this at all, because the AC Legs is really, at its base, it's a great blend. The number 10. I've used 29 before. It just didn't, I think I'd have had to add a lot of stuff to it. It didn't do it for me, but I just like this blend. And I'm also going to put just a 1/4 cup of sugar in, and then I'm going to mix that in. We'll get this camera down here. That just takes a little bit of the edge off, and it will also help with browning. I'm going to mix this up good. I will tell you, the recommendation is to go through the coarse grind before you do this, but I like to do it at this point, and then I'll work it up some more by hand after I do the coarse grind. But I want to get the seasoning at least in here on the meat. That way when it runs through, there's already seasoning on it the first time, and it will carry through the meat as it grinds it. So I'm just giving it one more step to become homogenized. And this is looking pretty good. I'm going to flatten it down good with my hands. And then I will put a layer of plastic wrap over it, just to protect it in the freezer. Since I've cleaned the freezer out recently, it doesn't have a lot of stuff in it to impart any odors, but nothing wrong with being careful in processing meats. You won't get the same care in a commercial facility. I encourage anybody to learn this kind of stuff. You know, in hard times, it's nice to be able to remain somewhat self-sufficient. and hopefully pretty soon I will be making some deer sausage and chorizo with deer and pork fat. All right, I'm gonna turn this over toward the freezer here. You'll see me walk over and put this in. There we are. So that's going to be in there for the next hour or so. I'll come back out, we'll do a quick grind. I'll run through it very quickly, and then we'll do a final grind, and I will focus on the stuffing since you haven't seen that. Okay, we're back. I finished running errands and doing a little shopping. I have the grinder is really chilled. It's been in the freezer for a long time. The pan here is chilled, and we're going to get started with this first grind. Shouldn't take too long, especially with the meat being very cold. It's already getting tacky. That's good. Okay, change over to another glove. We're going to do this same thing. This time I'll be running for the fine grind. I got to change out the die, and it will go through and then come out down here. And I'll probably chill it one more time. I'm going to share two things real quick. One, this is the die I'm going to be using. It is a 4.5 millimeter stainless steel die. And this is what we're going to be stuffing them into. This is natural sheep casings for breakfast links, snack sticks, things like that. But this is what we're going to be doing, making a small sausage, breakfast sausage links. And we will need to put this in water and let it warm up while the rest is getting cold. Put my glove back on, a new glove. If I was doing 25 pounds, I would take this off, clean it, and then run it, probably put it back in the freezer for a little bit, but I'm just going to, since it's still good and cold, I'm going to put this back on, clean this out, drop it down in the chute. All right. Put this over here at my sink, cleaning area. Now, it does not run through as quick on the second grind. First grind was really quick. But since it's still cold, it should work good. I will keep an eye on the sausage coming out. I want to make sure that it continues to look like, kind of like strands of yarn coming out. If it loses that consistency, it means it's starting to break down. We're generating too much heat, and you can ruin a lot of meat really quickly like that. So I don't want to do that. We'll just keep going. But if we reach that point, we will stop. I'll clean everything up, put the grinder back in the freezer, and we'll finish up afterwards. I don't think I'll have to do that. Everything's good and cold. It's funny, my original how to make sausage video, I think I uploaded it in July of last year. For 6 months, it sat there with 50 views, maybe 52. And right at the end of the year, I'm talking like the end of December 2023, all of a sudden, it started getting noticed. Now there's several thousand views and a lot of watch hours, which I really need on our channel. But I work and record as I can. There's varied content on our channel, which is basically my life. If I'd started this some years back, there would have been a whole lot more farm content. I've slowed down significantly on a lot of the daily farming work. I still like processing meat. I wouldn't mind occasionally raising meat birds and processing chickens. Still have the equipment to do it. But my wife had a pretty serious heart attack back in December. I've been there. When I was 45, I'd already had a heart attack and 4 bypasses. And I had promised her some travel in retirement, and the farm was preventing that from happening, so I had to slow down. And arthritis was starting to catch up with me, so it was good for me to slow down, but it was good for her. But after she had a heart attack, we've been talking about starting to go camping for 3 years, and I decided, and this is the philosophical part of it, life's too short to leave things undone. And the last thing I want to do at the end of my days is have regrets about not doing something. So I decided to put the focus on the missus. Her health's gone down some, and I make sure that we're getting out, we're camping a lot. I work hard on the farm when I'm here, but I also like to play hard now. I'm in the process of cutting fields right now, trying to get that done so I can mitigate the weeds out there, try to get them under control. Keeping it cut's the best way to control the weeds, keeping them from going to seed. But my theory on life is don't leave things undone. Don't leave things unsaid. Preferably the good things. But if you can't do the good, at least let people know how you feel. And above all, be honest, be yourself. That's farm wisdom. It's actually wisdom that's good for anything in life. Alright, I'll quit yapping, and I'll pick up here, give myself a cue, so when I'm editing, this will speed up. Just a little bit of ice. Maybe a little bit more ice. we've ended up with should be probably a little under 16.5 pounds. And I think I'm going to put that back in the cooler for an hour or so before I try to stuff it into the casings. And I'll need to get the casing softened up too, so that'll give time to do that. And I'm going to try to do it tonight and finish this up. If not, I will pick back up tomorrow, but it'll be just right away for you guys. Hey, it's Mark. We're back at it. I'm getting ready to put the sausage in the casings. Everything's good and chilled. It's another day, and I think we're about ready to get started here. So my first step will be to load the sausage into the stuffing container. And this one is by Meat Your Maker. 15-pound sausage stuffer. It'll hold approximately 15 pounds. So let's get this thing going. I have already lubed the inside of the stuffing box here with vegetable spray. I used Pam, but you can use whatever you want. It just makes it flow a little better, not stick quite so bad. And the plunger mechanism here, I've sprayed it as well. So everything should function well. Okay, that will be enough to get this started. I'm running the sausage out about to the end. And I'll back off right here. Might still have a little bit of flow. I will change my glove that has sausage on. And the fun will start with trying to get the casing on. Again, I'm using natural sheep casings. I've rinsed it several times, get all the salt off, and you let it set in hot water, or warm water actually, for 30 minutes to an hour. And hopefully I'll be able to find an end on this. We'll get it started. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Usually should be able to grab it by one of these little rings, pull it out, and be good to go, but nope, not gonna have it this time. At least they're good and soft. That's what we're going for. I have sanitized my work surface here, so we're good to go with that. And looks like I have an end. I'm going to pull the glove off. I'm going to pull two gloves off. Oh my. Never easy to get started. Once we get started, we'll be good. But okay, finally getting it started. Okay, I'll worry about that when I get there. But let's go ahead and get this thing started. You don't want to have it stuffed too tight because you have to twist. Blowout. You got to keep the casing moist enough, or this is what will happen, it'll stick. That's why I sprayed it when we started. Yeah, I'm having a heck of a time today. These casings aren't that old either. Shouldn't be having these problems. Okay, one last thing. I'm gonna wrap this one up. You may have seen, if you didn't skip through, but when you're twisting sausage, you twist one in one direction. I'm gonna twist this direction with the first one, and the second one I'm gonna pinch a little. I'm gonna twist in the opposite direction. Next one, pinch a little, twist in the opposite direction. Same thing, pinch up a little, twist in the opposite direction. That keeps the links together. Pinch, twist. Pinch, twist. And this one, decent size to leave as it is. They don't all have to be the same size. These are not for market, these are for me. So I'm gonna wrap with that. I just wanted to give a good demonstration of stuffing sausage, breakfast sausage. Hopefully soon I'll be able to do a merguez, which is a North African sausage from Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, in that area. They're a little spicy. I probably won't be able to eat too much of it, but they're good sausage. I'm going to get back to this tedious work of trying to untangle these casings and get them loaded back on and finish this out, get them packed and froze. Hope everyone has a great day. I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for joining us here at Cedar Falls Farm.